Steve seems to be in a bit of a funk this morning. I'm not sure if he's going to join us or not. T-Rex, are you ready to go out the door? Show me some enthusiasm. Yes. Good boy. Oh, there goes Steve. He just jumped out the door. Yeah, TK is in a funk also. It's 81 degrees, 9:40 a.m., Tuesday, July 30. That reminds me, Tuesdays have been the nicest days, and this one looks okay. But there's no joy in the presentation this morning. Our college town, Linden, Vermont, was hit again last night. Literally, out of the blue, except for it was in the dark of night. This upper level low, the remnant of a front that went by through Vermont last Wednesday into Thursday, went out into the ocean. A new storm developed on it, came across southern New England late Sunday into yesterday, and then it just slowed way down and without any surface support soaked the Northeast Kingdom. Actually, it started in Grafton County, New Hampshire. Late as the sun went down yesterday, the downpours around the upper level low were getting stronger with the setting sun. Very unusual, very unforecastable. And then in the middle of the night, it started raining in St. Johnsbury about 11 p.m. And by 6 a.m., nearly 8.5 inches of rain. The Presumpscot River came up 13 feet between midnight and 6 a.m., 6 hours in the middle of the night. Just horrifying scenes. More homes were lost, more lives were ruined, at least in the short term. I mean, yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Vermont, and the resiliency of the citizens is outstanding. But this is only 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks since the remnant of Beryl came through here, and also devastating flooding then. That was more widespread. This was more localized from about Grafton County, New Hampshire, into Caledonia County. And the Presumpscot River took the brunt of it. And the residents have to clean up again. Miss Lindenville Diner, everyone's talking about it, is for sale. The owners were getting ready to retire, and when they flooded back on July 11th, they said, that's it, we're done. Now, I don't think that the water came as high in all of Lindenville, but it all happened so fast. I think it was the Sheldon Brook feeding into the Presumpscot. They were seeing these images from Halley this morning, and Jacob Feuerstein and other statistic-type people, Jay Schaefer, say this is something like a 1 in 1,000-year return event. Yet, maybe not as dramatic as 2 weeks ago with the overall numbers, but this one happened in 6 hours. So for a 6-hour event, that's what they're talking about. That's the upper level low that we've been talking about here for more than a week. A week ago, we're looking at that and saying, wow, that is so unusual to have a 570 cutoff upper level low. And I should have just known that something else was going to happen. And boy, was it a worst case scenario. I mean, talk about we can't even get the 3 or 4 day forecast right. We couldn't even get a 6 to 12 hour forecast right in the Northeast Kingdom last night. And I'd like to say the threat is over, and maybe from the upper level low the threat is over, although the rain is still heavy in Maine this morning as we go to press here very late in the morning. The upper level low is decaying, and now we have to watch what's coming in from the west. A major squall line crossing through Tennessee and Kentucky. That's not coming at us, but that's the leading edge of the real hot weather in the middle of the nation. The ring of fire type thunderstorms are going to start coming at us. Now we have wind from the southwest. We have a warm front combination, low pressure system combination, cold front on the map this evening and overnight. This is generating more showers and thunderstorms for us. And then tomorrow that front lingers right over us. Southern New England with the southwest wind and a low pressure system right on the border with Canada and Maine. That's going to generate more heavy rain and wind. Tomorrow is going to be a windy day. The HRRR forecast. I think I'm just going to show the QPF part because the showers and storms look so small when you show them, but they're going to be potent. So there they are exiting Maine and then coming into western New England again and regenerating tonight and tomorrow. Looks like even Cape Cod may get in the action tomorrow. And the overall QPF, this time the bullseye looks like it's more than 5 inches in west central Maine, up near Rangeley, near your house, Russ. It's a lifeguard and some kids on a kayak. That was intermission. All right, back to the forecast. I didn't show the rainfall amounts for southern New England. In the last 2 days, this was much more expected from a situation like what we were getting, a surface low and an upper level low, and we had 1 to 3 inches of rain, a little more in parts of eastern Connecticut and Rhode Island. And here at our house, we had less than 2/10 of an inch of rain. T-Rex says, come look at the rain gauge. Rex, you're all wound up. I don't think I can get you. Look at that. So we had another 0.05 yesterday, and that gets us to a total of less than 2/10 of an inch of rain in this week. So the stakes are pretty high where it's raining. Boy, is it raining hard. You know, the dew point in St. Johnsbury was only in the 60s yesterday. All right, Rex, I'm going to free you up. So the air conditioning is coming on in my house today. Maybe not for the temperatures, but the temperature's going to be in the 80s, but the dew point's going into the 70s. And it's going to be real sticky, and the nighttime lows are going to be in the 70s. 14-day for Boston. You can see the windsock there tomorrow for gusts over 30 miles an hour and chance of scattered, perhaps severe thunderstorms tomorrow and heavy downpours, hit or miss. And then it looks like a little bit of a high pressure system tries to come in on Thursday and Friday and Saturday. It may quiet down a bit, but that's just for Boston. But look at the high temperatures in the 80s and the low temperature in the 70s. That means it's very uncomfortable for sleeping until about Sunday night or Monday. So we're looking at a solid 6 or 7 days of, if not a heat wave. The heat index will be in the 90s with the temperature and the dew point combined. Oh, where's Steve? So using up a lot of time here. The National Hurricane Center says there's 0% chance of that wave of low pressure developing in the next 48 hours. And if you look at the satellite image, there's not even a cloud near it. There are some convective clouds off to the south of it, but there's nothing there. The reason the Hurricane Center is monitoring it is because all the guidance develops it into something, although last night's guidance, at least the Euro, was much less bullish on this system. Where's Steve? Steve, what are you doing down there? All right, just don't take off. So let's go to the Euro, the 10-day weather maps in sequence as we always do. Wait, cute cat alert first. Hi, Steve. Come on up. Why don't you assume your position over here underneath the feeder, which I have not put any seed in yet. Yep, we're half Animal Act, half Weather Act, and half other. The weather stick is pointed up a little higher today. Euro in motion. Yes, I recall. Big thunderstorms in the middle of the nation. Looks like we may have some more of those mesoscale convective systems, perhaps derecho events crossing the Midwest and decaying hopefully over New England, but looking a lot like what happened with those severe storms previous to last Thursday. We had a series of those severe storms coming at New England. Looks like we're going to kind of go into that pattern. Generally, the least likely spot is the south coast of New England for these storms, and most likely up where we've already had so much flooding. And anyhow, there's the cooler front coming in Sunday, so fairly quiet Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday it sparks up, and where is Hurricane Debbie? Nowhere to be seen. Looks like kind of a slow-moving possible tropical cyclone off the southeastern United States with a tremendous amount of rain from just off Florida to just south of New England. And so there's no Debbie on there today, but that's only one day out of the last 5 not showing it. And then a really beautiful cold front coming in here next Tuesday and Wednesday. Something like the one we saw back on July 20th when we had a cutoff 540 low north of us. Cutoff 540 low, that's almost a sign of September. So at the very end of the period, we may get a feel of September in here. Now we're talking all the way out in 240 hours, 10 days. That's about August 8th or so. It's a bumpy road. It's never fun presenting disasters and weather forecasts, and I'm afraid that the stakes are pretty high for more flood troubles here in the Northeast. This grass is not irrigated. That's just natural color right there. I watered this a little bit right here, and that grass never gets watered over there. So we're almost eking out green grass into August, and unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be more green grass. Second blooming of roses yesterday. That upper level low is so perplexing. I spent a lot of time talking about it. So that's going to be our and more. I tried to do some time lapse. I did some time lapse, but sunset was kind of disappointing. I rolled on the whole thing. And there is the August rose blooms starting here. So there's some positive news. Okay, is that you, Charlie? Pia, Leif, good morning or good afternoon. Sorry I'm so late today. Talk to y'all tomorrow. 10:30. Steve is outside. Oh boy, 67 degrees with moderate rain. Stop. You're tied up. Moderate rain with a breeze from the west. This is almost unheard of in summertime. Upper level low, July style. Sorry, Steve. We'll go inside. 11:40. I started working on this thing before 7. Today's out the door, which is now yesterday. So that took more than 4 hours to produce. And that's not even counting making the videos yesterday. And now look, it's gone calm, glassy. The boat's pointed in 2 different directions. Love this. Instability, no pressure gradient at the surface. This morning, the wind near the ground was from the west at 10 to 20 up to about 1,000 feet, and it was from the east at 20 to 40 at 8,000 feet. Upside down weather for summertime. The rest of the day should be very fun also. Unusual late July weather. Oh yeah, I think I've said that enough times, right? And more and more and more. Just getting going on this and more today, which is Monday, July 29. Had to think about that for a second. New resident spider. Just don't let Janet see you. Yeah, watch that window behind you. 3 o'clock, kind of surrounded by showers. I want to get a video of that boat wake. He was just chugging along. How fun would it be to get a surf rider board on that wake? Except for he slowed down. Anyhow, the sun is out right now. I think we're underneath the center of the upper level low, right over eastern Massachusetts now. That means the air is pretty much calm at just about all levels of the atmosphere. The surface low has an appendage that's developed on the west side right over Boston. It was so fascinating yesterday watching the time lapse of the clouds going that way when normally they come this way. So today, clouds are probably going this way in the time lapse. Yeah, the thing was just rocking. Waves on waves and waves. They'll be coming ashore in a second. I'm gonna leave my ambient sound on. It's so funny, we're getting the comments. Look at that. Martin says the sound is so much better with the noise canceling. And Steve Bailey says, I only like the sound and the and more now. This is the and more, and I do not use the noise canceling here. So you can hear the birds. And in a moment you'll hear these waves. Look at the waves, so pretty. Light waves, water waves, some air waves. They break when the water gets shallow enough.
boat. Leaves a nice wake. Refracting water waves.
That's in the no wake zone. How's that feel when that goes underneath your boat? Got some lobster headed for Braintree or Quincy. It's still going.
There's a flag.
Pole rack and
Waves won't stop. Le Chatelier's principle. Nature always striving
for equilibrium, never achieving it.
Just a few minutes since I had that blue sky and those waves, and now it looks like something's building right over Winthrop, and I can't even tell which way it's going. So here comes another time lapse with some Nat sound. That was 25 minutes, close to 4 o'clock. So there's a counterclockwise rotation, cyclonic, and it's centered pretty close to about Waltham or Andover, somewhere northwest of Boston. I got that radar loop at the same time. At the same time, Content Weather guy, Phil, posted this showing the cutoff low all the way up to 300 millibars of the atmosphere. That's called vertical stacking, when the surface low pressure is underneath mid-level of the atmosphere low pressure, which is underneath top of the atmosphere low pressure. So it's vertically stacked low pressure from the surface all the way up to the tropopause, pretty much. So there are the showers kind of moving in that direction, rotating around just to the northwest of Boston.
And of all places, Long Island has had flash flooding. Thank you, Isaac, for video from Long Island today, where it looks impossibly green, really.
What rain have you had? Today, about 3 inches, but it looks like it's been wet there. And I think parts of eastern Long Island have had no rain. It's not an equal...
Guess where we are now?
Yep, the North Pole. And the sun has just come out.
Things are looking up. Let's look up at the sky.
Blue sky and cumulus. The upper level low is dissipating and pushing off to the north. Slight chance that we get a view of the northern lights, the aurora. There was a coronal mass ejection. There's an electromagnetic sphere storm crossing the earth today and tonight. Here's to some clearing and some borealis. You know where we are now? 7 o'clock.
That's a light plane taking off toward the east, but the wind is shifting. I don't know why they were taking off to the east if the wind was from the west today. Anyhow, don't see too many canoes going by lately.
Yeah, you tell them. Oh, the air's coming up perfectly. We can hear them. She's telling him what to do. Oh no, it's right there. I thought it sounded kind of close.
She's telling him what to do there.
Look at the crosswise waves. Love that. Overlapping. Resonating. Oh, heading for the rocks. Come on. Going to the rocks for the video. That'll be good. Nope, not going into the rocks. Anyhow, with occluded low pressure, the warm air goes all the way around to the north, and the cold air comes all the way around to the south, and this one's totally mixed out, so it's pretty much done its job. And now we get the edge of the heat
coming at New England with scattered showers and thunderstorms as this enigmatic upper level low departs. Now it's going to be sun and storms for the rest of the week, and wondering what's going to happen with potential Hurricane Debbie. Rex went inside. Steve is always ready. And Charlie's testing the product. He's like, oh, your garden is so far behind mine. And it is indeed. You started yours indoors in February. I went to the nursery in June. Hey Steve, the same couple in the canoe going by the other way. Looks a lot more quiet now. What happened? Well, the wind just died down again. And we have a really interesting optical phenomena occurring right now, as if there's not ever. So you got crepuscular rays going down, anti-crepuscular rays going up, and to the left of the sun is a sundog. That's refraction of sunlight off ice crystals 22 degrees off either side of the sun. There they go on their canoes. It's like some kind of canoe club this evening.
Yeah, I see there's a group of them.
Cool.
That's cool.
And so I'm going to make another sort of closer up iPhone time lapse, which comes out a little better than the web camera time lapse.
So this webcam.
So what I'm doing now, this is going to be a much higher resolution, and I can watch the sun go to the horizon. And if I want, I can put this audio on there, but I'll delete it out. I gotta chop it all up. But the fact that it's stationary means instead of like, if you put your phone on time lapse, it's going to take a picture every 2 or 3 seconds.
Right.
This is making a video, and then when it's a very high resolution video, and then I'll go on to the iMovie and not just speed it up. 1 hour. Should have done this last night. Not that it was bad, but the sun never broke through that lower layer, whereas last night it did. Anyhow, there's that anyhow word. Trying to eliminate him. Regardless, it's never dull. Who's that? Waves and waves and